Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. So as you can probably see and hear from the audio and visual differences, slightly different video today, and one that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. So for anybody that's been following the channel or subscribed or been watching any of the videos recently, you'll see that I've slowly but surely been going through a load of cheap pedals, just doing reviews, buying them, seeing what they're like, and you know, we've been talking like, when I say cheap pedals, I mean the cheapest tube screamer out there, or just the cheapest pedal I could buy. You know, all of these videos are on my channel and I'll try and link them below. However, there has been a ulterior motive to that, and that is this day today. It has been, the plan has always been to build the cheapest pedal board that I can physically put together financially, not building them, but buying stuff. What is the cheapest pedal board, from the board to the power supply to the pedals? I haven't taken the cables into consideration, mainly because I've already got a load of cheap cables, so I haven't spent another 30 quid on cheap cables when I've already spent 30 quid on cheap cables. So these are the cheapest of the cheap that I can do, and today what we're going to do is a very quick unboxing of this power supply and put the board together. Then we'll hear some samples at the end and see how it all sounds as we go through. What I'm going to very quickly do is list the pedals that we're going to have on the board, and as I do that on the screen you should see somewhere the price. So there'll be a total price cost for all of the pedals, the supply and the pedal board itself. So here's the pedal board. This cost me £14.81. Here is the power supply, and it powers up to 8 pedals. This cost me £7.23. I can't remember the individual prices of the pedals, but these will appear on screen now. But we've got the Vivlux or Vivlex Fuzz, that will be on there. We've got the Vintage Overdrive, that's going to be on there. I'm going to put the Vivlex Overdrive 2 on there, purely because I have it. However, at some point I do expect to replace this with something else. It's just that these are all of the cheap pedals that I have at the moment. The US Dream, I liked this one. And then the Analog Ensemble. This was physically the cheapest pedal that I could find on the market at all, completely. This was the cheapest one. I can't remember how much, but I think it was like 7 quid. The Iron Tremolo. This was quite a nice one as well. Then the big boys, the expensive pedals, you've got the M-Wave Elemental, that's £23, I do know that one off the top of my head. And then the E-Rock Mini Universe, they're the two big expensive pedals on this pedal board. So, they're all the pedals. So what I'm really going to do is just change the camera over so it's over here. We'll do a quick unboxing to see what's actually in the power supply, what it comes with, and how it actually works. And then after that, I'll play you some music and we will start putting the board together, and I'll speed it up for you, because we are going to have to sit and Velcro all these bits on the back. An honourable mention, we'll just go to this digital delay pedal, which of course I bought, which for anybody that has seen that video, it was a complete dud, it was awful. So that's not going on the board, that's just here because it was part of the series. So without further ado, let me sort the camera out, and what we'll do is we'll start Velcroing everything up and getting it going. Right, here we go. Okay, so we are back, and what we're just going to do is a very quick unboxing of the pedal power supply, just see what we've got. So yeah, as we can see, you're going to have a DC out, then you've got one USB out and one USB 5V in. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do power this. Isolated power supply, isolated, an interesting concept for a power supply that cost me £7. But maybe it will be, maybe we'll be surprised. So, there's your manual. So what we're saying here is we've got we've got 4 100 milliamp outs and 4 300 milliamp outs. So, I mean, in theory that's saying this could power something like a Line 6 wireless unit or something, which would be incredible. Or even some of the smaller Strymons. But anyway, Isolated low noise DC 9V outs. An LED light indicates the status of each output, so that'd be interesting. Okay, cool. Well, so there's your little user manual. Fairly straightforward with the power supply. So here is that's the tiniest thing I've ever seen. Let's just put it up against the pedal so you can. That's incredible. That is. That went well. That's an incredible size. Okay, that I did not expect that at all. I expected it to fill up the whole of this box. So what is in the rest of this box? Okay, so here's your power cables and your USB in, I guess. Mental. So what do we use the USB? I don't know. I don't know what you'd use the USB charger for. Can be used as a USB device charging. Okay, I guess you could just charge something that requires a USB out. I don't know. Okay, well, that's interesting. So that's obviously going to be your USB in to power it. So it's quite a short. That's fine. And then here's all your DC cables. So that was nice and simple and straightforward. There's our power supply. There are our cables. And there's the USB power supply for the pedal power supply. Interesting. What we'll now do is we will now get to the setting up of the power, I think, and the Velcro the pedals. So I will see you in a second. Okay, so what we're just going to do here is we're going to get the pedals that don't have any Velcro on them. Some of them already have because I've used them in various places, and we're just gonna get these Velcroed up. So yeah, shouldn't take too long. It's just part of the process, as we all know when messing around with pedal boards. The pedal board did come with some Velcro, so that was handy. Right, so that was nice and quick. They were all Velcroed up. I understand it's not the best Velcro job in the world, but this pedal board won't be going anywhere. It will be very much just for me to play with at home, so don't need to worry too much about things going missing or falling out during transit, etc. So what we'll now do is look at mounting the power supply. Now this board here, the Rock House, does have a little compartment in the back here, which we'll just get into. That should give us somewhere to house the power supply, and then we can feed all the power cables through the holes on the front. Now that's the hope and the plan. However, this was £14, so so there's the compartment. So I'm not entirely sure how would be best to do this. I think it might be. Okay, so there's a hole at the top. So I think this is how we're going to have to play this. We're going to have to pre-feed them through. I think I'm definitely going to have to substitute some longer ones though, because well, otherwise they won't fit. Okay, so I've got a couple of longer cables just so I'm not shooting myself in the foot before we begin. Okay, so they're all fed through. Nice. So what we'll do is very quickly a little bit of Velcro on there. Sweet, okay. And that's not going to realistically go anywhere. Let's get the rock house. Board put back together. Yeah, okay, we've got 8 there. Got 8 there, it's a little bit hooge and flip, that's fine. So, a couple of notable sort of exemptions or exceptions that aren't on this board. One, there's no tuner, which is a shame, I will agree. I just haven't bought a cheap tuner yet, but that's fine. And obviously this does have space for a wah. Now I do own a wah, but there's no wah on here at the moment. Maybe I'll try and find a cheap wah, the cheapest wah pedal that I can find. Enough of that, let's get some pedals on the board. That's our pedals and power done. All we need to do now is just take a selection of these and get her wired up, cabled up. That is the pedal board, all set up and in theory ready to go, ready to play. So what I will do is we'll now pop through to the little office where we usually film, and I'll get this plugged up and set up and plugged in. We'll see if we can make any noise, and if we can make any nice noise. Sweet, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we're back, we're all set up and we're ready to go. So, pedal board is all there. I haven't turned it on yet. It's plugged in, so fingers crossed it's all working. As always, we're just going to spend 30 seconds going over the other gear to take into consideration when listening to the Pedalboard of Dreams. So, we're back with the Blanche Flower Bolt Thin Line. So, this is sort of a telly style guitar-ish. Telly, but not a telly. Thin line, very nice. And then it's got the medium output bare knuckles in. Then that's going into the Pedalboard of Dreams that you should see on the pedal cam. All set up, hello, and all ready to go. And then we're going straight into the front of the Victory Duchess. So it's a clean pedal platform. Reverb is off. We're running it in the lower power mode. And then the reverb is off as well. Also, reverb is completely off, and the mid kick is in, just because I like the sound of the sound with the mid kick. Then we're on voice 2 rather than voice 1. I'm not can't remember if that's intentional or not. This has just been out for a gig, so I can't remember if it's been knocked. But clean sounds a little bit like this. So, there we are. We are ready to try the first pedal on here and see if it works. So, I'm going to get rid of the microphone, and we're just going to start playing with the pedals here, flicking them on, flicking them off, and seeing what kind of tones we get. So, without further ado, here comes the Pedalboard of Dreams.
well, I mean, everything works, and in all honesty, I'm really quite surprised at kind of some of the sounds that we can get. Realised that I've forgotten how to use a couple of the pedals, primarily the Mini Universe. It's been a while since I properly plugged it in, because I've been busy recently, and there were several times that because I can't actually see some of the knobs, I was just spinning. But what I'm going to do is at some point in the future I'll be doing a comparison between the sounds of this board, A-B'd directly against the sounds of my gigging proper board that I've been building for however many years, and just see, how close does this get? I could gig with this happily. Some fine tuning of some of the sounds, but yeah, absolutely I could gig this. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how close we can get with if I put the prices up against each other and see how much my main board costs against this and some of the sounds. So yeah, really impressed. It's been a really cool little project. I'm going to continue the cheap pedal series. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and there are some interesting pedals out there that I'd like to try. Maybe we'll push the budget up a little bit, but at the same time I might try and get all of the ones that cost £9 just because, to see, so that people like yourselves watching this video can get an understanding of how these pedals sound. I think it's always that thing, if you're on the internet and you're looking, you're like, I'm not spending £9 on a pedal, it's going to be awful. Well, personally, I think this Vintage Overdrive particularly is a fantastic pedal, and it was like a tenner, if that. I think that might have been, see, it's going to be somewhere between £9 and £11, and I would say anybody could use this and get a decent sound out of it. So I'm going to continue doing that, but this has been the culmination of several months worth of buying pedals, and without just buying them all at once and spending however much that this would have cost me. Built it up slowly so that it's not a big outlay, but it's been really good fun. I'm going to continue doing it, but let me know what you thought in the description below. Does it sound like trash? Actually, are you surprised at some of the sounds that I've got? Again, take into consideration the dialing in elements of it, or do you actually think no, that there's a reason that pedals can cost 200, 300 quid, and it's because they just don't sound like these. They sound better, who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on this journey. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe there are a couple of pedals here that you think, you know what, I really want that. Let me know what you thought in the comments section below. I'll leave links to all of the pedals and all of the videos below. Maybe drop the video a like, and if you're feeling really zesty, maybe even hit that subscribe button. But if not, no worries, and until the next one, take care.